Welcome to a Song of Ice and Fire Symposium. My name is Nav.
And I'm Harmit.
And this is a Game of Thrones. Chapters 35, 36, and 37. Eddard, Daenerys, and Bran. In these chapters, Jaime be wildin', Viserys be lying, and Bran be almost dying? I don't know. Stay tuned, because Harmut apparently thinks that she's been spoiled. She hasn't, but, whatever. Welcome to the show, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. And, I'm glad to be doing this. I totally lost what I was going to say. I was going to say something. Oh, yes. I was going to spoil you on something because, up front, okay, let me just get into it without... So, our very first prologue chapter for this book. It drives me insane because for whatever godforsaken reason, I keep saying wildling instead of wildling, or widling rather. Like I miss one of the L's, and it is so annoying to me. Every time I see the word, I remember editing it and just cringing every time. So from now on, I'm going to call the wildlings free folk. That's how they refer to themselves. And wildling is kind of an offensive term, because, hey, just because you don't follow our rules means you're so savage and wild and
Yeah.
So, free folk. Got it?
Free folk.
Just for the sake of my sanity.
Yes.
So that's the spoiler that I was going to give you.
Oh, that's so lame. I thought you were going to give me an actual spoiler. I was so excited. What the heck? That's so lame. I don't even
Why
want
would
that.
I spoil you on something important?
I don't know, but I thought you were gonna.
I was not. So, why don't you tell everybody what you think you got spoiled on?
Okay. So, I was watching the show, and this lady...
The show?
Oh, okay, I didn't want it to be a really long story. Okay, so I was watching this show. A show called The Voice.
Well, you just said the show, as if everybody should know which the it is.
Okay. I was watching a show, and on that show, there were these two people, and there were three people, and they were talking to each other. And,
okay, well, don't be so vague. Just start over and say I was watching The Voice. People know what the hell it is.
Okay. So, I was watching The Voice, and one of the judges on there, Blake Shelton, was mocking Kelly Clarkson for something, for having too much power and too much control over the network. And Kelly said, "You know what? Whatever. I'll take it. I'm Khaleesi." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." And then later on in the conversation, one of the other coaches said, okay, because they were a contestant had to choose between the coaches. And so you, on the show, you have to ask the contestant, who do you choose as your coach? So the coach said, who do you choose as your coach? Khaleesi or Jon Snow? And after I heard... So
she thinks that Daenerys and Jon are going to compete at some point.
Yes.
Just because there's two people there.
Yes. And I'd already, in one of the previous chapters, I'd already thought, because of that dream that he had, I was like, oh, Jon is going to gain some power, whether it's through the Night's Watch or whether it's through, becoming Lord of the West, Lord of the East. What is he?
North. They're north.
North, yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I forgot.
Jon Snow. It snows. It's the north.
Yes. Okay, yeah.
Okay, you know what? I'm just realizing why he might have said Jon Snow, because I don't agree with this comparison, and she thinks I'm just saying that because I feel like she's gonna, be spoiled if I agree to it. But I don't think Jon Snow's the right comparison. Anyway, so I think they said that because Jon Snow and Daenerys are people's, favorite characters, because, she's the queen and Jon Snow's the mopey teenager. So
yeah.
Well, I've talked about how everybody loves Jon, and I'm just like, get over it, dude. So
yeah, okay. I see.
Anyway, so I guess she's spoiled. Whatever. So
Yes.
let's get into what we're talking about today, which are these chapters, as we usually do. I am a little bit off today, if you can tell. So, Harmouth, just tell me what you think of these chapters. Lay it on me. Give me your thoughts, your opinions, your feelings, your questions.
They were pretty good. I enjoyed the Daenerys chapter the most because I like the ones where nothing too terrible happens and we're just getting backstory. And I know at the beginning of the book I hated that, but now that I kind of like understand the world, I'm like, okay, I'm okay with backstory chapters because sometimes just I feel like things are just gonna get worse. And at that point, backstory chapters don't seem too bad.
This is like one of the first times that a named character has died. A named as in like a character we've kind of gotten to know. In Ned's chapter.
Oh, yes, yes.
Like, a lot of people have died. The book started with 3 people dying, so.
Yes.
But, like, we kind of know Jory and Ned's dudes, you know?
Yeah. Sad
okay,
ones.
sorry. So you liked Daenerys' chapter.
Yes.
What do you think of Ned's chapter?
Ned's chapter was okay. It was good. It was just like, oh, dang. You know, I didn't have any particular feelings about it. I just kind of read it and I was like, okay.
All right. Okay. I guess. Let's just get into it then. So, wait, crap. I have to time you. That's a thing we do.
Okay.
Let me get out my stopwatch timer thingy. So you'll get 30 seconds each, and I'll just say the next person's name when you have to switch.
Cool.
All right.
Wait, I have
3.
Okay, it's gone.
3, 2, 1. Ned.
Okay, so Ned and like Jory and like those people and what's his name? Littlefinger. So they've just left the brothel and they're kind of leaving and they're talking and Ned's asking Littlefinger questions and he's like remembering stuff. He's remembering Lyanna. He's going through stuff. And then what's his name? Jamie comes in with his little goons and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're not safe anymore. Ha 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 ha. JK, we can't kill you, so we're just going to kill your men. Let's make sure you don't die, but your men will die, Ned. Have fun with that." And then his men die. And then
okay,
Ned
Daenerys.
Daenerys. They arrive at the
Vyse Dothrak.
Vyse Dothrak. They arrive, and there's a bunch of monuments, there's statues, all these things. Viserys hasn't changed. Viserys is going to be a static character this entire time. They're living their life. Dany's having an identity crisis. We're talking to Ser Jorah. Jorah hates Ned. Dinner. Viserys
Bran.
gets mad. Stuff happens. Oh, Bran. They're in the forest. Wolves go off on their own.
Bite, die, die.
Then bite, die. So, Rob confides in Rob and Bran have a moment, and then Bran has a moment alone with strangers, which is not such a great moment compared to the one with Rob. And then arrow shoot, Mad, they take in Osha.
Okay, that's
Osha.
it. Arrow shoots Mad.
I can't, like, when I'm doing these, I can't remember anybody's names. What's the guy? What's his name? Theon, yes.
Thoin
the coin.
Thoin, because I misspelled his name, so.
Thoin the coin.
Is he the coin?
I don't know.
Okay.
He's the coin.
All right. Fair summaries. Let's dive into Ned's chapter. So, they're at a brothel. Littlefinger took him to a brothel. And Littlefinger is chatting up this woman. And one of Ned's guys is like playing a stripping game of some sort. And Jory's like just taking in the view, standing by the window, just smiling. And at this point I was like, oh my god, he's like such a general, like, because Ned is like, honor. And Jory's like, live your life, man. and I kind of like him for that. And then I like immediately remember that he dies in this chapter, and then I was like, oh
Oh.
shit, that's so sad.
Oh, sad vibes.
Anyway, as per usual, Littlefinger is a little shit. He's like, so you fuck that girl as Robert did, and it's like, it's just stop it already. He's not here for that bullshit. So they leave, they get on their horses, they're going down the road, and it's raining. And since I made these notes last week, I had more in my mind than what I have right now, so I'm going to read what it says. Here's a quote that I liked. The rain, it beat down on Ned's head, warm as blood and relentless as old guilt. Man, I kind of felt that.
Empathetic atmosphere. They're about to die. It's raining down on them.
Yeah, and then, Ned is thinking about how Robert really likes going to brothels and having sex with people. And he's like, oh, yeah, Lyanna totally had it right. Because Lyanna was like, just because he loves me and marries me doesn't mean he's going to change. Like, that's just who he is. Yeah. And, and that is the case. And then Ned's thinking back to what happened at the brothel. Because we're, like, coming at this after the fact, So he's recapping the story for us. And he tells us, first thing, the girl had been so young that Ned had not dared ask her age.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Yes, it is.
I literally, like, we've had quite a few, like, awful things happen. That was definitely one of the more, like, what?
It's just so casually thrown in there, like, yeah. And, like, if you can pay well enough, that's what you can get, apparently. So, the girl, she has a daughter named Bara, who is Robert's daughter as well. And we can tell because she looks like him. She's got his hair. And Ned's thinking back to Robert's first daughter in the Vale, who had the same hair. So he's like, oh, back in the old days, Robert's still on his ways. I don't know. And then as he's thinking about bastards, he thinks of Jon Snow. And he's like, oh, if, bastards are so terrible, why do they fill men with such lust? Like, like, it's the gods that did it. Don't take responsibility.
Exactly. Literally. Like, okay, buddy.
But yeah, anyway.
But so now we know Gendry. We know the person at the Vale. We know Vara. We know
by the way, the girl at the Vale. Do you know who that might be?
The girl at the Vale.
We have met Robert's daughter.
Oh, oh my god,
Maya
what's
Stone.
Her name? Yeah. Wait, what's her name again?
Maya Stone.
Maya. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I didn't even make that connection. I was like, we don't know her.
So I made it for you.
Yes.
So
you can't expect me to remember that much detail.
So there's Maya, there's Gendry, there's Bara. There's also a boy at Storm's End who was conceived on Robert's brother Stannis's wedding night in their marriage bed. So
great.
I mean, it's a big castle. Go to any other room, literally.
Way to take the spotlight away from your brother. Just like... Yeah. And then he had twins that Cersei apparently got killed. Or no, got killed.
Yeah, she had the twins killed and then sold their mother into slavery.
Yeah.
How about chopping off her head for that, Ned? Because, that's the thing that he wanted to punish Jorah for, was selling people into slavery. But I mean, if Ned could, he would, but
he definitely would.
He also doesn't really have proof. This is like things that Littlefinger has heard.
Yeah.
So, anyway, So as he's thinking about the possibility of these twins being killed...
I have a crackhead prediction that relates to something we talked about.
We'll come to it in a sec.
Okay.
So anyway, as he's thinking about the twins that were killed and their mother, he's like, oh, I don't think Robert would allow that to happen. But then he's like, the Robert he had known would not have, but the Robert he had known had never been so practiced at shutting his eyes to things he did not wish to see. Which is so true.
Yeah, that's literally that's his entire leadership in a nutshell.
Yeah. So anyway, what was your you said you had a crackpot theory. Tell me.
Okay, so when he was talking about like his promise to Lyanna, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, I remember the promises I made to Lyanna on her deathbed," and he was like, "Oh, the price I had to pay to keep them." I was like, "What
He's being
are
very
these?"
dramatic.
Yes. Okay. Ned's just dramatic about like little things. That is just true. But in this case, I was like, it's got to be a big thing, you know. And this is my crackhead prediction. So, Jon is Lyanna's son.
Wait, Jon Snow?
Jon Snow is Lyanna's son, but Ned had to be like, this is my son for some reason. I don't know why, but
okay. So
yes.
Lyanna and whose son? Lyanna and whose son though?
That I don't know. Lyanna and somebody's son. And
so just because like he's paid a price for the promises he kept, like you think it's a big deal and that might be it?
Yes.
Okay. That's a good theory. I don't know what else to say. Do you have any questions for me?
No, I just like I literally have no reasoning for that. I was like, what if?
Just have a feeling.
Yes.
I feel it in my gut. Okay.
Yes.
So okay, where were we? Anyway, Robert's not the guy he was.
Yes.
And then Ned's like, but why was Jon Arryn killed for finding Robert's bastards? Like, that's not a big deal. Everybody knows that Robert has bastards. Like,
yeah.
And Littlefinger's like, oh, if you let a man say such things, he might say that the sun rises in the east. And for a second, I was like, wait, what is it? Like, it's a little bit too convoluted of a way to say it. And then I was like, oh, that's what he means. So, and then then Ned thinks of Rhaegar, and he's like, I bet he didn't frequent brothels.
Yeah. And
so
this is like
it's
the
almost
first
like
time where
he respects this guy more than he respects Robert, kind of. Because like this is his idea of honor.
Yeah, which is insane because, you know, he fought a whole war for the man, and now so many things have happened, and he's literally thinking about the guy he was fighting against.
Yeah. So at this point, they get surrounded by Lannister soldiers. There's about 20 of them. And Jaime's there. And he is pissed about Tyrion being captured. And Ned's like, oh yeah, I totally asked her to do that. It's my fault. Like, he could have just said, I don't know what you're talking about. Let's go sit and talk about this. But no, I have to protect my wife's honor, so I will take it all upon myself. You know?
Exactly.
Honestly, with this, okay. So, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. But, so, Jaime is, like, rounding up on Ned. He's like, I will kill you. And Littlefinger skedaddle, basically. And he does, but he promises to bring back the City Watch, which we find out he does later.
Yeah.
So Ned's like, well, we could fight you, but if I'm killed, Catelyn will kill Tyrion. And, you know, Jaime's like, yeah, right. But also at the same time, he says, I'm not willing to chance my brother's life on a woman's honor. And so, first off, this is the Kingslayer talking about honor. Just want to point that out. And then also, he says, I suppose I'll let you run back to Robert and tell him how I frightened you. I wonder if he'll care. Which is like such a jab, because Ned was thinking basically the same thing. Like, he's not the guy I knew.
Yeah.
So yeah, he turns to leave and he commands he being Jaime. I keep saying he. So Jaime. Jaime. So Jaime turns to leave, and then he tells his soldiers to leave Ned alone, but to kill his companions. And, you know, Ned being Ned, he can't let that be. So he starts fighting. And then for a moment, it looks like Jory got away, but then he comes back to fight as well, because stupid honor.
he is Ned's man, like,
yeah.
And even Ned's like Jory.
Like, leave, dude.
Yeah, for once in his
but
life,
like if Ned were Jory, he wouldn't leave either. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
it's but if I were Jory, I would leave.
If I were Jory, I would have left before he told me to leave.
Yeah. So they're like fighting, bite, die. More like strike, die. But so Ned's horse, it's been raining, so he slips in the mud. And Ned gets caught under the horse and breaks his leg. Like, he can see the bone poking out of his calf, which is so gross. Yes. Don't describe things in so much detail. And that's not even the worst of it. We're going to get so many worse things, but I didn't like thinking of that. Yeah. So, why don't you talk for a second?
Okay, so, like, Ned sees his bone, then he, like, goes, he's, like, in a haze, and by the time, what's his name? Oh, Littlefinger comes back with City Watch a while later, and then they take him back, and he's given Milk of the Poppy by our lovely Maester Pycelle. And then the chapter ends.
Yeah, and he's, like, in a daze the whole way, because he's in so much freaking pain. Yeah. Predictions? Yeah. Do you have any off the top of your head?
Do I have any predictions related to this?
So you think Jon is Lyanna's son? That's kind of a prediction.
I think Jon is Lyanna's son. Yes, I do. I was really in this chapter, like at the beginning, I was kind of like, why is Littlefinger doing this? You know? Like, that's not really a prediction, you know? That's the question. It's like, why is, like, this doesn't serve him in any way. Also, why does he bring back this, like, the City Watch? Nobody's holding him accountable. He could just leave him there.
Well, there was, like, Ned mentions there being people around, like, people are looking out of their houses, but nobody's, like, helping. And if somebody later on was going to be like, Littlefinger was there and he didn't call anybody to get help. I don't know.
Right, that's true. Oh, yeah, I forgot that this wasn't, like, a secluded setting. I forgot that there was, like, a bunch of people there because, you know, it's a brothel in the city.
Well, they're not at the brothel anymore, but they're going through the city. Yeah. And it's a city. Oh, yeah, right.
So. Yeah. Yes, that is true. But yeah, I don't think I have any more predictions for this chapter.
What do you think is going to happen to Ned?
What do I think is going to happen to Ned? Well, I don't, even though I've said countless times that he's going to die, I don't think he's going to die just yet. So okay. He's definitely going to wake up. And I'm thinking about, like, the interaction, because they took him back to the castle, right? So I'm thinking about the king's going to be like, he's back, you know? I think what'll happen is, like, the king will have forgotten about that whole thing. I think, like, not forgotten, but he'll be like, oh my gosh, Ned. Well, actually, you know what? Yeah, he's going to be like, oh my gosh, Ned, are you okay? But then Ned's going to say, like, something.
You still planning on killing Daenerys?
Yeah, exactly. He's going to say something that his darn honor makes him say. And then they're going to be, and then he's going to be like, get out of my castle. And he's going to be like, I can't walk. So,
yeah. Get carried out of my castle.
Yeah, he's going to be like, crawl out of my castle. But yeah, that's going on.
Okay. So Robert's going to want to make amends, but Ned's going to mess it up because he's dead.
Yes.
You really Ned this moment up. That's what we're going to say every time somebody messes up. Yes. Oh God, I got too close.
Messes up while trying to do the right thing. Netted it up.
Okay, so I have totally lost my brain. What's going to happen to Jaime?
What's going to happen to Jaime? That's a good question. Nothing.
I'm full of good questions.
I don't think anything is going to happen to Jaime because the Lannisters pretty much own the whole kingdom at this point. What's Robert going to say? He didn't harm Ned, you know? Like, he didn't do anything to Ned. He'll be like, oh...
But he did kill his people.
That's true. Well, he could lie and be like, oh, they did this thing. Like, he could make something up and be like, they were doing this, so I had to kill them. Or also, maybe it'll be considered justified because they took Tyrion, you know?
Okay,
so,
blood for blood.
Yeah, so Robert will be like, you know what? If your wife did that, you deserve this, bro. I can't do anything.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, because it's definitely not like, you know, Robert's pretty good at making excuses for not dealing with something, so this is his perfect excuse.
Okay, makes sense. I'm so sorry. I'm like so out of it today. It's
okay.
like I've taken some milk of the poppy or something.
Oh my gosh.
So, Daenerys. Oh gosh, I got really close to my mic again. I need to like be more aware of the fact that I am louder on this mic. So, Daenerys. Okay, that's too quiet. So, Daenerys.
There we go.
Daenerys and party are arriving at Vaes Dothrak as we catch up with them.
Yeah.
And they're going through the gate, which is 2 stallions rearing up, and their hooves meet like 100 feet above the road to form a pointed archway. So that's kind of cool.
That in itself is so cool, but then the fact that there's like nothing connecting it to anything is so funny. You know?
Like there's no walls or anything? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like there's nothing connected to the gate. Like it's just the gate, and you're like, oh, it's just land.
Have to pass. I mean, you could pass to the right or left of the gate, but you should pass beneath the gate.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair. So, Viserys is back on a horse after his short reign as the Cart King.
Wow, I mean, he's finally king again, guys.
Yeah, so, you know, he had sore feet from all that walking he did that one day, so Khal Drogo offered him a ride in the cart, and he graciously took it, not realizing that it was an insult, because the cart is for losers, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, call me a loser. I'm gonna go in the cart.
Yeah. It's like when they were climbing up the mountain, like Catelyn was climbing up the mountain, and she was I don't care about honor, I'm just going in the like grocery cart basket. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, when you said grocery cart, I imagined her like sitting in the grocery cart while like being, you know how like people put their friends in the grocery cart and like run around the block. That's what I imagined.
I mean, okay. if you show me the show, I'll be able to imagine something better.
Will you?
I will.
Okay. Don't make riddles today, okay? Brain no working. Brain need break.
Okay. Have a Kit Kat, have a break.
No, we're not sponsored by Kit Kat. You can't say that. We can only endorse a product if they pay us. Okay. Also, Fruit Loops are amazing. They're not paying us. I have a Fruit Loop right in front of me, so I'm just saying that.
Oh my gosh.
What? Oh my god. Okay, Cart King. Blah, blah, blah. They're going through the thing. There's no houses yet, but there are statues and monuments from all over the world, from all the cities that the Dothraki have sacked. And, like, Vaes Dothrak is kind of, like, in a remote place. If they're dragging something from Pentos, that takes a lot of effort.
Yeah. And they have a lot of things dragged from Pentos or wherever.
Yeah, like from all over the world. So
yeah.
It's kind of cool. And Dany's like, hey, that's cool. But Viserys as always, is still an asshole. Of course
he's the one who has, like, no respect for any history or anything. Of course it's him.
Yeah, because, like, Dany's kind of assimilating into this culture. She's like, this is the way. We're gonna, like, if I'm gonna survive, I gotta, you know.
Yeah, like, this is my world now. This is what I am.
Yeah. But he's like, nope, no change for me, thank you.
Yeah.
And
he's like, me go to castle with me fighters.
Yes. So he's like, oh, these savages, they even lack the wit to understand the speech of civilized men. He says this as his clothes are literally rotting off of his body.
Yes.
Yeah, they're the savages, sure.
Yeah.
So he, like, spies some goddess with a bunch of breasts, and he's like, "Ooh, look at that!" He like runs off, basically.
Yes.
And then Jorah's like, "That dude." And well, no, sorry, Jorah doesn't say that yet. Daenerys is like, "Just I hope my sun and stars, my husband, gives him the army he wants, and then he can leave me alone."
Yeah.
Not really. But
well,
kind
it's
of.
not even, it's kind of like that, but it's more like she's still like, he deserves it,
he
you know?
deserves this. Yeah, because she's like, he sold me, so he should get his payment. And Jorah's like, yeah, that's not how it works. The Dothraki don't buy and sell. They exchange gifts, and gifts are given in their own time. You can't demand a gift.
Yeah. I liked that. I was like, oh, that's kind of...
Yeah.
I like that.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
In this material world that we live in, that would surely be like, hey, you help me out, I'm gonna help you out. But not today. I don't feel like it today.
Yeah.
So that happens. And then Daenerys is like, okay, if he gets his 10,000 Dothraki warriors, will they be enough to take the Seven Kingdoms? And Jorah's like, if you asked me back in the day, I would say no. But if you ask me now, I would say maybe. Basically, because he's
I
like...
love your voice for him. That was a pretty good voice.
Oh, thanks. But, you know, he says that if the Dothraki warriors, they meet in battle, in open battle, then they'll for sure win, but they won't be able to withstand a siege, because, like, they just don't got that kind of patience and machinery and stuff. And then he's like, Robert's kind of a fool, though. Like, he should have been born a Dothraki. He believes that fighting a foe in the battlefield is much better than hiding behind your walls. Yeah. I mean, sure.
Yeah. I agree with that. I'm like, yeah.
Sometimes you have to hide behind walls, though.
Yeah. Like, I agree with the fact that Robert would be a good fit
would give
for
him
Dothraki.
battle. Yeah. And hold on, there was something funny here that I forgot. Oh, right. Daenerys is like, could he sweep the Seven Kingdoms with 10,000 Dothraki warriors? And Jorah's like, Viserys couldn't sweep a stable with 10,000 brooms.
That was funny.
He's like lost all respect for this guy if he ever had any.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be his like protector or whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's his sworn knight. Yeah. It's true. But clearly he, like Dany, is kind of losing faith in his ability to be the king. Yeah. And so anyway, going back to Robert, and, you know, he's like, Robert would do it, but he's surrounded by smarter people like Ned. And then he's like, Ned, terrible. Wait, I was going to spit, but I realized I'm in my room and I can't actually spit. How do you fake spit?
I don't know.
That doesn't sound like a spit. Anyway, so he does not like Ned because Ned wanted to punish him for selling people into slavery. How terrible of Ned.
Yeah. He's like, he was going to ruin my life for a few people.
Yeah, for some poachers. But my life is so much more. Wait, my life is worth so much more.
Yeah.
Is that the same voice I did? I don't remember. That was too long ago. Okay, so they get to the city. It's under the Mother of Mountains.
Yes.
And it's all spread out. Like, there's no streets or anything. It's just kind of like scattered, kind of, but like in a good way, maybe.
Yeah.
And Dany's noticing how like the buildings are so different, like from each other. And Jorah explains it's because they've been built by slaves that were brought from different places in the world. So they build what they know, because like there's like pyramids, and then there's just like huts. Mm-hmm. So there's different kinds of houses and buildings and offices. Wait, the Dothraki don't have offices. Office buildings, building, office, building. They build the houses. They build the buildings. Okay, so Daddy's also noticing that the city is very scarcely inhabited. Is that a word? There's no people. No people be there. So, the Dosh Khaleen, which are the wise old crones, they live there permanently, and, you know, their people, servants and guards and whatever, but that's it.
Yeah. And they have to give Dany a prophecy about her
Oh,
lovely
yeah.
child.
And that's why they're at Dosh Khaleen. No, wait. At Wise Dothrak, because Drogo wants that to happen. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, so the Dosh Khaleen are the only ones that live there permanently, but the city has enough space to house all the Khalasars at
Which
once.
is crazy, because...
Yeah, like, Drogo's Khalasar has, like, 100,000 people.
Yeah. And then,
like,
how many Khalasars
like,
are there?
Yeah, I don't even know. Like, 4, 5, 20, 100?
Nobody knows.
Who knows? One of the other things about the city is that weapons are forbidden.
Yeah.
And if you, like, you're not allowed to shed the blood of a free person. So, they give away all of their weapons and things.
It's like their sacred place.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, like when, like, in the Sikh culture, like, when you go to church, you can't have, like, eggs or meat that day. But then, like, other days, you can have, like, as much meat as you want.
Well,
I don't know.
Depends on the person.
Yeah, but, like, that's
depends
a thing
on,
that,
like, the, yeah.
That's a thing that, like, a lot of people, like, believe
practice,
in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that, I don't know. I don't know. Not to be judgmental, but these are the same people that, like, you know, when they had, like, the ceremony, the wedding ceremony, they were just, like, killing people left and right. Yes. Like, you know, it's the same people. I don't know. I just don't get it, but okay.
Yeah, well, it's the Dosh Khalid who've forbidden it because, you know, there could be more than one Khalasar at a time, and if they're just, like, fighting amongst themselves, they're just gonna kill at each other. So they don't want that. So in a way, this is kind of a matriarchy in that the Dosh Khaleen set some of the rules.
Yeah.
But then later we learn that, like, the Mother of the Mountains, like, their, like, sacred place, only men can go there, so, and only, like, there's only calls, like, there's no one, like, oh, she's Khaleesi, she doesn't have a call, like, that's not really a thing, you know?
Yeah.
So the Khalasars are led by men, and the men have specific privileges, but it's essentially women who make the rules, so that's interesting. Yeah. It's an interesting concept. Where were we? Okay, so we get a lot of, like you said, backstory in this, like, a lot of information in this chapter. Yeah. So next up, Dany is thinking about the Blood Riders, and you had asked me what, like, the Blood Riders are, and here you get your description.
When did I ask you that?
Like, during Dany's wedding.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Oh, I didn't even remember that before.
Yeah, I was like they're kind of like a King's Guard, but not. So, like, I couldn't explain it better, but here it's like they're a guard, but they're also the Khaal's brothers, his friends, the blood of his blood, meaning that when he dies, they die. So their life depends on protecting his life.
Yeah, and they can share everything, like,
except
everything that they own. But not horses, because
everything including their wives.
Yeah, but not horses.
But thankfully, Drogo doesn't believe in that, so Dany is grateful for that.
Yes. And she doesn't. Well, it's not that she doesn't like them, but she's, like, scared of his Blood Riders because they're
a bit intense.
They're not like, "Hey, Dany, how are you?
How's it going?" Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, she's thinking, like, yeah. These are that's a good way to have this is a good structure.
Yeah. She's like, maybe my father wouldn't have been killed.
Yeah, if he had Blood Riders, because you know, Jaime, his Kingsguard, killed him. Yeah. And he's like, and she's like, when my son ascends the Iron Throne, I'll make sure that he has Blood Riders. Mm-hmm. So in one way, she's like, Viserys is still my king, but then on the other, she's like, my son will be the king.
I was thinking about that too.
Maybe this chapter, like, she's, like, on the edge, like, on the fence a bit, but
that's why when I was describing it, I was like, this is her identity crisis.
Yeah.
It's all of these different, like, things that she believes, and it's, like, it's hard for her to figure out, like, what she really believes, because it's all combining.
Yeah. So at this point, one of the Blood Riders tells her that Drogo's gonna go up the mountain to make a sacrifice, and Dany's like, "Oh, thank God! I need a break." And she goes in. She's like, "Let me bathe." I shall bathe, or no, I don't know why I'm saying that. She just like asks for a bath and tells her handmaidens to prep dinner and invite Viserys and lay out all the gifts she has made for him.
Yeah. She wants him to look a little bit more
kingly.
Yeah. Kingly and a little bit more like, yeah, less raggedy because all his clothes are ripping and burning and whatever's going on.
Yeah. And, you know, they get planning, they get meat that's not horse, so yay for Viserys. Yeah. But as they're prepping everything, Viserys comes in, dragging poor Dorea. And it's clear he's mad. And turns out Dorea said that Dany commanded him to attend to her. And he's like, "How dare you command me?"
I can't.
I don't know what that was.
I can't. This kid, man.
You were like, "I want everybody to be redeemed." You sure about that?
If he can prove himself, go for it, but I don't think he will.
I'm telling you, I do not want redemption for this dude. I told you this before, and...
Anyway. Like, he'd have to do a lot to earn redemption, like, obviously, but I'm just saying, if. I doubt it, but if.
Sure. Okay. You'll be the optimistic one. I'll be the pessimistic one. So... You know, Dany's like, "No, I just meant to ask you to join us, if it please your grace." And, like, she's really pandering to him. And he's like, "What do you want from me?" basically. And Daenerys is like, "Well, look at all these gifts I made for you. There's, like, new clothes that she had her handmaidens stitch up and everything." And he's like, "These are Dothraki rags. I don't want no part of that." And he's not pleased. And then he turns on Dany and calls her a slut and kind of grabs her roughly. And Daenerys, she's had enough. And she reaches for the closest thing, which happens to be a belt made of bronze medallions, and whips it at him.
That was fun.
And it was so fucking satisfying. I cannot. It was so good.
Yes. I was like,
hit him again!
Oh my gosh, it was so good.
But he, like, he knows he can't do anything, so he scampers off, and Daenerys is like, "Ugh, ruined my day. I was having such a good day." And then she, like, curls up with one of her dragon's eggs, and she says that whenever she holds them, she feels braver, like she's drawing strength from the stone dragons inside. Now, this was kind of a prediction you made. You were like, "I don't think she's gonna, like," You were like, "I think she's gonna draw some kind of strength from them."
Oh my gosh,
I remember you saying something like that.
Good.
Yeah.
I love that I said that. I didn't know that I said that, though.
Yeah, you don't remember anything. But, yeah, I remember you saying something like, she may not, like, get dragons from them, but that she'll get some other kind of power from them, and it seems that she's like...
Oh, yeah, I did say that! Yeah, I did. Yes.
Yeah, so, you know, that's a thing. And as she's holding the egg, she feels the fetus move, and she's like, "My potential child is the true dragon. You got this."
Yes.
And, you know, I think this is kind of the conclusion of the chapter, and her coming to the conclusion as well that Viserys ain't shit. We need another person, and she believes that person to be her potential child.
Yeah, that interaction was just the last straw. If there was anything, it was his last chance, and he blew it.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, she's, like, really tried with him. She wants him to fit in, and when she saw that he was being mocked for being the cart king, she begged Drogo to let him have a horse again. Yeah. Like, she's really, you know, trying everything. But this dude does not appreciate anything.
Yeah. You can only go so far with people before it's just you're just wasting your time. Yeah.
So let's talk about some predictions. What's gonna happen at Wise Dothrak?
Okay, so so they're gonna go to the
Dosh Colleen.
the Dosh Colleen, and they're gonna predict something really bad, and then they're gonna predict something really bad. Actually, they're gonna predict something moderately bad, not really bad.
Okay, like how? Bad how?
Maybe they'll be like, I don't think this is very bad, but it's bad for like the story. But maybe they'll predict that it's like a girl, and then she's gonna be like, "Oh my gosh! Like I was holding out hope that this was a guy, and it's gonna be this whole thing." And then that'll be the prediction, and then maybe Call isn't gonna like that. He's gonna be like, "Bro, this isn't a good gift," and then
he's gonna return his gift.
No, he's not gonna return his gift. But I think he'll be like, I can't give you a gift back just yet.
Oh yeah, until I have a son, you can't have your army.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Okay. All right. And what's going to happen with Viserys? Is he going to learn his lesson? Will he be redeemed?
No. Definitely not. There's no way.
So he's not going to be redeemed, and he's going to be denied his army. What is he going to do? What is going to happen with him?
He can't do anything.
He'll leave. He'll sulk.
He's going to be. Well, he can't leave because who's going to take him anywhere? Jorah's not going to be like, "Oh yeah, sir, let's go." And also Jorah can't. Who's gonna They're the ones who know how to get back. He doesn't really know how to get back, so he's going to be there sulking. And what can he do? What's in his power? He'll probably just, emotionally try to manipulate Daenerys. Because there's not anything else he can do.
Okay. And what's gonna happen with Daenerys?
I don't know what you mean.
Like, she's currently pregnant. She's got these dragon eggs that she's holding on to.
Yeah, she's gonna be hanging out in her pregnancy, hanging out with the dragon's eggs, hanging out with her maid friends. She's doing her
handmaidens.
thing. Handmaidens, yes. Yeah, she's gonna do her thing. Eventually her baby's gonna be born, so then she's gonna be busy with her baby.
Okay, it's the parenting route for Daenerys. All right.
Yes. On
to Brandon Stark. So, Bran and party are going for a ride. I keep saying so-and-so and party. Just, I don't know why, but I do. So here we are. So, Bran has got his new saddle. And he's all strapped in. And he's got a new horse. He's named Dancer, yes. And she's been trained specifically for kind of catering to his needs. Vocal commands and commands by the reins, not having to use his legs as much, or at all, rather.
Yeah.
And they're leaving Winterfell for the first time, since he's been able to ride. And they're walking through what they call the Winter Town, which is nearly empty. Now, I really like the concept of this town. It's a town right outside Winterfell, so it's got protection and resources, but most of the time, people are off at their farms and things, doing, what people do at farms and things. But when winter comes around, they can't do those things. So they retreat to this town, and that's why it's called Winter Town, because it's only really inhabited in the winter.
Yeah. Now people are going to have to start coming back.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like this idea.
Yeah.
Summer is kind of the time that we all really look forward to, especially, if you consider the kind of winters we've heard about in this world. Snow's 40 feet deep, spiders as pale as... Wait, I don't know, as pale as what? Pale spiders as big as hounds? Was that what it... Yes, that's what it was. Winter ain't no fun.
Yeah.
Ain't no fun.
It's not about going outside and making snow angels.
Yeah, winter is not fun in this world. So, summer is what they look forward to, but kind of having this gathering place might be, something to look forward to in the winter.
Yeah.
You know, you get to see your friends that you saw last winter 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And they were like, they were 7 then. Now they've got kids that are 7.
Yeah, literally. Wait, no, if they're 7, then they had kids when they were 10.
Yeah, that's a little too young. But you know.
Yeah,
like,
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean. Like,
Yeah,
they're married and they're doing things.
Yeah, for sure.
They're all grown. So what happens here? Oh, yeah. So they pass by the ale house and Theon's like, hey, girls, basically. I don't know. He's like flirting with some girls. And then he's about to go into some details about his sex life. And Rob's like, dude, just stop. Like, this is not the time or place. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And Bran is like, oh, no, I'm just going to pretend I heard nothing. I heard nothing, okay? But he's like, I bet Theon's smiling at me. He's always smiling. Yeah. He's smiling as if the world were a secret joke that only he was clever enough to understand.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like that. It's like a very interesting way to describe a person.
Yeah.
So at this point, Bran and Robb race ahead of everybody, and as it says in my notes, Robb lays it on Bran. He's like, we need to talk, dude. Our dad, he's been hurt. Our friends Jory and the others, whose names I do not remember, they've been killed.
They be dead.
Yes. And
we're preparing for upcoming war at some point.
Yeah. And, it's they know it's Jaime Lannister who was responsible, and Bran's like, there's something I should remember about the Lannisters, but whenever he tries to think about it, he feels dizzy.
You know what I think?
Clenches.
You know what I think? I think if he ever sees the Lannisters again, he's gonna remember it. Like, if he sees them, he's gonna remember
like the twins, because he did see Tyrion.
Yes, if he sees the twins, it's gonna come back.
But when will he see the twins? He's in Winterfell. They're in King's Landing.
That's the bad part, because I don't maybe 4 books from now. When it's irrelevant, he'll see them.
Okay. But... All right. So yeah, there's a little bit of that. And then Robb tells him that Theon wants him to call his banners and go to war, because...
Blood for blood, sir.
It is a sucky thing that happened, but, it's not enough to go to war over. I think war should be avoided in all cases. So, yeah. I'm not a pacifist, though, am I? Okay, this is a conversation I need to have with my therapist, not here. So, Robb, Bran, Theon. Oh, yes, at this point, Bran's... Oh, wait, why don't you do susmerizing?
Okay, so Bran's like, I'm a little cold. But Robb's like, can you go a little bit longer? We have to find our wolves. And Bran's like, okay, yeah, I'm tough. Yeah, it's all good. We're good. And then they cross a stream, and they're a little bit ahead of everyone else. And they hear the wolves. And Robb's like, okay, I'm just going to leave you here because it'll be faster if I go get them myself. So then he goes to go get them. Bran's, hanging out alone. Not a good idea, because 6 people come up to him. And they want all of his nice stuff, and they want his horse. And they're like, bro, get off. We're taking your stuff. And this is bad because, as we know, Bran can't, move his legs. So
yeah, and he's strapped in.
Yeah. And
so one of them goes on and, cuts off the strap. But in doing so, he also cuts Bran's leg. But Bran can't feel anything because paralysis.
Yeah. And they're like, oh my gosh, maybe he's not lying, because he didn't even react.
And Bran notices that a couple of them are Night's Watchmen, or former Night's Watchmen. And he's remembering his dad telling him that those are the most dangerous kind of men, because they don't have anything to fear.
Yeah.
And
they don't have any honor, according to Ned.
Yeah, well, nobody has honor, according to Ned.
Yeah, that's true. And they
so
talk about Mance.
Yeah, one of them
later.
is like saying something like, let's take Bran, when Bran is like, I am Brandon Stark of Winterfell. I'm like, dude, shut your mouth. Like,
literally.
just
like,
shut
what
your
is that gonna do? Is saying that gonna
He's
earn
8,
you any...
I get it.
yeah.
But and even later Robb is like, I am Robb Stark, the heir to Winterfell. Like, you couldn't have just been like, I'm his stable boy.
Right? Yeah.
Or
Exactly.
like anything. Just
these people,
anyway,
man.
so they're like, oh, he'll make a great hostage. Let's take him back to Mance Rayder, the king beyond the wall.
The guy who
At this point, Bran's like, you be wildin'. So they are free folk, as we decided at the beginning of this episode. And, they're just talking, hanging around and then at this, blah. And then Robb comes back, and he's got the wolves with him.
So,
and then,
bite, die.
The reason we kept repeating this earlier in the episode was because I was making these notes, and I couldn't think of a better way to summarize, so I just wrote bite, die.
Yes.
And that's what happens.
Yes. And soon the only Stiv, that's his name, right? I don't know how to say it. Stiv?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So
I didn't even remember his name.
So Stiv is the only one who's left, and he grabs...
And Osha, one of the
Oh, wait,
women.
yeah, sorry. He's not the only one that's left. JK. There's 4 bite dies, and then 2 of them survive. So we still have Osha and Stiv. So Stiv grabs Bran, and he holds a knife to his throat, and he's like... He's like...
If you want your brother alive, kill those wolves.
Yeah. And Robb's like, what the heck? And then at this point, Theon comes in and shoots him.
Shoots Stiv.
Shoots Stiv, not Robb.
Yeah, we need to use fewer pronouns when just like he, him. There's a lot of he, hims.
Yes, he shoots Stiv. And
Theon shoots Stiv.
Shoots Stiv. And Robb's like, bro, that could have literally done anything because he was holding the knife right to his throat.
Yeah.
He could have accidentally slit him on his way down. And Theon's like, oh, well.
Yeah, Bran could have died.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't happen, so don't be mad at me.
We good. He's like, oh, we just got distracted because I was looking for a turkey. Or like, he was like, I heard a turkey, so we got distracted. I was like, sir, what is going on?
Anyway, what else?
Osha's alive.
So all of them are dead except Osha. All of the free folk / Night's Watchmen are dead except Osha, one of the women. And Robb's like, she's a woman, I can't kill her. His honor, Yeah. And Maester Lewin kind of sees it. He's like, hey, we should take her into question because she might know something. And Robb's like, oh, thank God. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
And the end. Farewell. Okay, predictions. What is Robb going to do about the fact that Ned was attacked?
Oh, about the fact that Ned was attacked. He's not gonna start a... Wait, they're already prepared for war. I was gonna say he'll just prepare for war. I think he'll wait for more news to see if, like, Ned's alive.
Oh, because he's unconscious at the moment, so they don't know.
It could be like, oh, I want to talk to my father, if he's still alive, and, like, we can talk to each other about it,
Yeah, but what is he gonna do? Phone him?
No, like, can't they, like, how do they usually communicate? They, like, send...
Ravens.
Yeah, ravens. He could send a raven.
Okay. And, Osha, what's she gonna tell them?
I feel like through Osha we could find out more stuff about, like, the wildlings, because I feel like at this point we don't really know anything. But Osha strikes me as the type of person... I feel like Osha wouldn't just be like, oh, well, here's everything you want to know, I feel like Osha's not going to want to tell them much. She might tell them, like, the bare minimum, like, we are the wildlings. We oppose you Starks. We don't like Benjen,
Okay.
Like, I don't think she's gonna give us more than, like, what the people in the story would already know.
Right. The only thing is, so she suggests kind of, I think she's the one who speaks up and is like, let's take him to Mance Rayder.
Yeah.
But one of the other people opposes the idea because the White Walkers aren't going to care if you have hostages.
Yeah.
So will she tell them anything about that situation? Because, like, nobody knows about it as far as we know.
I don't think she'll tell them. I don't think she'll tell them. Whatever that situation's about. I think they'll try to ask her about it, but she'll be like, let's change the topic.
Okay.
And also, like, well, I'm assuming they have to be, well, never mind. That's stupid. I was just gonna say, like, oh, obviously they left, like, a while ago, because they don't seem to know that, like, Benjen's been captured, and their coats are, like...
Has Benjen been captured?
Or, like, something's happened to Benjen.
Benjen's, like, missing. Like, the Night's Watch doesn't know where he is.
Yeah.
So he could just be, out ranging. Or captured, or dead, or undead.
But I feel like if they'd, like, they've definitely... I feel like they've left a while ago, because recently they would have known about that whole thing.
Okay. I mean, would the Night's Watch be communicating that kind of thing to... I don't know. Maybe they would know. Okay. So... that's it. Can you think of anything else?
Oh, ow. My arms. I'm just, man, I'm worried about the Lannisters. Because
what about them?
They literally have nothing to worry about. And now they have
like,
a reason
you're worried
to
what
strike.
they're gonna do as opposed to worried for them?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay.
I'm not worried for them. They
what
have
about
nobody
Tyrion?
to fear.
You're not worried about him?
I'm not worried about
Worried
Tyrion.
for him?
Caitlyn's not gonna kill Tyrion. He'll be fine.
But the last time we were in that area of the world, some little boy was speaking of making him was talking of making Tyrion fly. Remember?
Oh my gosh.
Caitlyn's sister is not a big fan of the Lannisters, and her son's like, let's make him fly, the bad guy fly.
Yeah, but oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, but she's terrified of the fact that he's even here. She's not gonna kill him. Like, she's mad at her sister for bringing him. She's not gonna make the situation worse.
But he's here now, so she can either kill him and get rid of him, or keep him around.
Doesn't matter. She's terrified of the Lannisters.
Okay.
She's not going to kill the guy that she's terrified of having in her possession.
Okay. So, you said you were worried about the Lannisters.
Yes.
Well, you didn't elaborate.
Okay. I thought you were gonna, ask me something. Okay, so the Lannisters, they have... I've said this multiple times. They have all of the kingdom power just in their little fingernails. Not even fingers, just on their fingernails. That's... Okay. They have so much power. And now they have, just that thing of, oh, he has Tyrion, so we're gonna do this, Now it's, justified in, a weird way. And
that they can attack the Starks.
Yeah, and I'm just worried for the Starks' safety.
Okay.
All right. I don't think they're gonna attack them, but I just think, before it was okay, Ned's the king's hand, Ned's, Lord of Winterfell, there's all these different things, but I feel like now it's, I don't know, I don't think they're gonna hold back on whatever bad plans they have, they have no reason to hold back anymore. They don't have anybody, they were scared of Ned being there at the Red Keep, through the conversations with Varys, it was they're afraid of Ned, but I don't, now it's kind of that thing of if they can just distance him and the king even further,
they don't got nobody to worry about.
Exactly, so I'm worried.
Okay, so back to the overarching kind of mystery. Why was Jon Arryn killed? What's up with these bastards?
Why was Jon Arryn killed? That's a good question. Something with the lineages, because the book. Something about the Lannisters. Lannister lineage bastard Robb.
Rob?
Robert.
Okay. Remember, either call him Bobby or call him Robert.
Yes. Wait, why did we call him Bobby? Just because?
Because, like, Bob is short for Robert, and sometimes Roberts are Bobs or Bobby.
Oh, okay.
Like, if somebody's name is Robert, they may go by Bobby.
Interesting.
You didn't know this?
I did not know that.
Okay.
Okay, so why was Jon Arryn killed? Yeah, I don't really have an answer for that. Has something to do with lineages. Maybe.
Well, we had a Ned chapter this time around. Did you gather anything from it?
No. We just learned
no crazy
more bastard
theories.
Names. Like, no, because we just learned more bastard names, and the only thing I got is that he has a lot of bastards, and a lot of people know about his bastards. So it's even more, like, he doesn't even hide it, you know?
Yeah. You're gonna be so mad at yourself when you finally find out.
What is it?
I'm not gonna tell you.
I don't know. Maybe
on that
like...
note, let's wrap up.
Okay.
Wait, were you gonna make a prediction?
I don't have anything. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Wrapping up then. So before we go, let's talk about what's next. You ready?
Yes.
So I kind of got like excited at the thought of the next chapters, and that's because we're going down to 2 chapters instead of 3.
So they're like bigger and more important chapters then.
Or just like it made better sense to divide them up that way.
No, but you were excited, so that means that something important happened.
Well, also it'll take me less time to create the notes. That's the thing to be excited about.
Now you're just making excuses.
Okay, so next chapter, next episode, we're reading chapters 38 and 39.
Woot woot.
All right, chapter 38 is Tyrion.
Ooh, okay. Interesting.
What gonna happen?
Tyrion... Okay, last time we saw him, they reached the... Oh, Catelyn went up to her sister's room. Tyrion hung out downstairs with that other dude, right?
Well, not room, castle.
Yes.
Room.
Yes.
I mean, Tyrion and party. I keep saying that again. Tyrion party. We're gonna go up at dawn. Lysa just wanted to see Catelyn right away, so she made her go at night.
Yes. And they were okay. So it's gonna be dawn. Oh, actually, no. It's gonna be a few days later. There's gonna be a routine going of what goes on. You know, people stare at Tyrion and they're like, he's a Lannister.
They're just gonna let Tyrion hang around like a normal guest?
I think so, because, like, what are they gonna do? Like, I think they'll question him, but, like, I don't think they're gonna kill him. I don't think they're gonna torture him, because it has no use. Like, there's no use. And they're not the type of people who are just gonna hurt people for no reason.
Not everything is for use. Sometimes you just want to do something.
Yeah, but I don't think... I'm gonna be the Ned here, and I'm gonna hope that they have more honor than that, than to just go around torturing this guy.
Okay.
Alright. I feel like, yeah.
So, we'll catch up with Tyrion hanging out at the Eyrie.
Yes.
Cool. So, chapter 39. Dear old Eddard.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Hey, that tells you that he'll live until that chapter, at least.
Yes, that's true. I mean, the end of the chapter could be his death, but, you know. Okay, so he's gonna... Wait, what did... Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. So he's gonna wake up. Duh. Or he could be having a weird dream. We've had a theme of those, but I think he'll be awake. So he's gonna wake up.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna be in the castle, and he's gonna have that altercation with Robert, where they're gonna be like, "Sup, bro? You still gonna kill Dany? Bro, don't bring that up. Okay, bro, get out of my house."
Okay.
That's their, like,
that's the end?
I think he'll get, like, Varys will come visit him, and we'll get some more intel. Well, something exciting has to happen, because we're going down to 2. Something to Kate. What? Okay,
I told
I'm
you.
gonna make a crackhead prediction. I feel like I need to make a crackhead prediction.
Okay.
Because I feel like something like out of the blue is gonna happen, and I need to at least say something crazy. Okay.
Okay. Let me just tell you.
Yes.
The reason I divided up the chapters this way is not because they're like really full of stuff. It's just because the next chapters, like, I needed a divide between them to ask you some predictions.
Oh, okay. I see. Interesting.
So, like, okay, if you were to make a crazy prediction, what would the crazy prediction be?
Okay, let's see. Maybe we find out that I literally have nothing.
Okay. Well, then we're done. I'm hungry.
KK.
So from now on, I'm gonna make things easier on myself. I am quitting social media.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to get in touch with us, just send an email. Okay, I will check the email. So our email is popculturesymposium@gmail.com. And if you want updates on the show, subscribe. That's all I get. I'm sorry, I've been dealing with a lot of things and I really cannot... One of the reasons I've been so delayed in getting the episodes out there is because I don't just think of the editing part of it, I also have to think of all the other things that go along with it, and I just don't have the energy to do everything. So, email us, and, also, reminder, as we're kind of nearing the end of the book, send us your theories and questions for Harmouth to discuss after the book. And remember, no spoilers for anything that's not covered in the book. But other than that, until next time, farewell, my friends.
Talk to you later.